Hello, welcome to another radio and television station, and I'm Kadri. Here comes the local news. In a message released on Facebook by the U.S. Embassy on February 12, the new U.S. ambassador to Vietnam, Mark Knapper, offered greetings in Vietnamese, saying he was honored to return to Vietnam to jointly promote the potential of relations between the two countries. Sending a welcome message, Ambassador Knapper said, "My family and I are very happy and honored to be back in Vietnam, where we worked 15 years ago. At that time, I was very impressed with the wonderful people and country of Vietnam, as well as the potential of relationship between the two countries." New U.S. Ambassador Knapper highly appreciated the development of Vietnam-U.S. relations, reaching close friendship relations and comprehensive partnership. He also mentioned a number of diplomatic focuses he wanted to carry out during his term in Vietnam, such as resolving post-war problems, expanding bilateral trade relations, maintaining regional peace and stability, and protect the environment and abundant natural resources of the two countries. The U.S. decision to license the use of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines for children under 5 years old will be postponed for at least 2 months after the U.S. Food and Drug Administration (FDA) announced that the testing data is needed. The FDA said it was evaluating new information from the trial that Pfizer-BioNTech included with the license application, but said more evaluation data is needed before a decision can be made. Under the previous plan, the FDA plans to make recommendations next week for the use of the vaccine for infants and children aged 6 months to 4 years. After that, the U.S. government will launch a vaccination program for young children from February 21st. The FDA had previously asked Pfizer to speed up the approval process for the use of the COVID-19 vaccines for this group of young children because the Omicron variant is increasing the number of new infections, especially in children. By the end of January, the 12-month deposit interest rate continued to increase by 0.002 percentage points to 5.552%. Despite 3 consecutive months of increase, deposit interest rates are still 13 percentage points lower than same period last year. This information was mentioned by Baltic Security Joint Stock Company (BVSC) in the macro report of January 2022 just announced. The analysis team assessed that interest rate level in 2022 is difficult to decrease further compared to the end of 2021 and is likely to increase slightly in the second half of the year from 0.25% to 0.5%. BVSC forecasts that inflation will likely increase significantly in the first half of 2022. However, the CPI in January was at 1.94%, a relatively low level, which will support the growth of the economy. Inflation is under control. BVSC expects inflation to cool down in the second half of the year, and CPI for the whole year will be kept under control around 4%. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his U.S. counterpart, Joe Biden, spoke by the phone on February 13th to discuss the situation related to Ukraine and agreed to continue dialogue. After the phone call between the leaders of Russia and the U.S., Assistant to the President of Russia, Yuri Osakov, said he had not yet seen the result of this phone call, and the leaders of the two countries had agreed to continue the dialogue. During the phone call, President Putin once again complained about the West arming Ukraine and the Kyiv government sabotaging Western brokered peace agreements aimed at ending the years-long conflict in eastern Ukraine. Meanwhile, the White House announced that President Biden had warned that the United States would respond decisively and force Russia to pay severe and swift cost if it invades Ukraine. AFP quoted a senior U.S. official as saying the phone call did not bring about any major change with the current stalemate. The United States and Britain announced on February 12 that they would withdraw their force on Ukraine amid concerns that Russia would attack this country. The Pentagon announced were temporarily repositioning war resisting members of Florida National Guard stationed in Ukraine as advisors and trainers to the Ukrainian armed forces. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered withdrawal as a priority was given to ensuring the safety of U.S. service personnel. He said the forces would redeploy in Europe but did not disclose the specific location. The British Ministry of Defense also announced that withdrawal all troops present in Ukraine. British Armed Forces Mr. James Hippie said there will be no British troops in Ukraine if there is conflict. They will be leaving this weekend. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.